Hello everyone, good evening. Thank you for taking out the time out from your busy schedule and joining us on the webinar today. Today we have with us, just 1 minute. Today we have with us Mr. Devendra Kataria. Is it echoing now, Devendra ji? If you can confirm.
Yeah, you're audible.
Perfect, thank you. Okay,
There's no echo on my side. Your voice is not echoing when I'm hearing it.
okay. I'll just try once again from a different position. Hello everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I have with me Mr. Devendra Kataria. Devendra Kataria, sir, is from Kota. He has been guiding, advising a lot of entrepreneur corporates on GST, taxation, and all the different fronts. So he has more than 1.5 decade, 15 years of experience in giving the compliance guidelines. Also, he does a lot of webinars in the region, mainly in UP, MP, Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat areas. So he's servicing a lot of clients over there. Today, our focus will be that the GST changes that has come as a guideline from the MFI and which are applicable from 1st of April 2026. We'll be focusing the impact of GST and how the filing is to be done, how the eligibility can be checked up. All those things will be covered in the next 25 to 30 minutes. After that, we will have a Q&A session wherein you can have one-on-one discussion pertaining to your specific queries. So you can raise the hand and we can allow you to have a one-to-one discussion with Devendra ji as well, so that the discussion becomes more fruitful today. So over to you, Dinesh ji, Devendra ji. You can share the screen, and in
Sure.
case you want to introduce yourself to all the members who have joined, over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rahulji. Am I audible clearly?
Yes, to me, you are audible.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. First of all, at the outset, I would like to express my gratitude to give me an opportunity to interact with various distributors of mutual funds, and it is an opportunity for me also to express my views on the latest upcoming changes in GST. Well, I've been taking seminars for various professionals and trade associations for the past decade now. Earlier, I was in service tax. Now, since 2017, I've been doing it for GST. And my core area of practice is GST only, and I cater to clients for consultancy and litigation. So, with this, let us start. And may I share my screen now? Okay. So, is it visible, Rahulji?
Yes, sir, it is visible now.
Yeah, okay. So, let's start. हम आज जो डिस्कशन करने वाले हैं जीएसटी को लेके और म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स के साथ क्या इम्प्लीकेशन आ रहा है जीएसटी को लेके, उससे रिलेटेड सारे डिस्कशन आज हम करेंगे। एंड द नेक्स्ट 25-30 मिनट्स हम डिस्कस करेंगे पहले वो कि जीएसटी कैसे कैसे आपके एरियाज में, आपके सेक्टर में इम्प्लीमेंटेशन होता है और उसका क्या इम्पैक्ट है आपके सेक्टर में। कुछ बेसिक कंसेप्ट को हम समझेंगे एंड देन वील मूव ऑन टू कि जो चेंजेस आए हैं इफेक्टिव फ्रॉम 1 अप्रैल 2026, उसका डायरेक्ट इम्पैक्ट आपके बिजनेस के ऊपर क्या होने वाला है। अगले आधे घंटे में हम ये सब डिस्कस करेंगे। आपके जो भी क्वेश्चंस हो आप प्लीज आपके पास नोट करके रखिएगा। लास्ट में एक साथ पूरा क्वेश्चन आंसर सेशन हम डिस्कस करेंगे। चलिए शुरू करते हैं। सबसे पहले तो हम बात करें कि जीएसटी में रजिस्ट्रेशन की क्या रिक्वायरमेंट है या क्या लाइबिलिटी है। तो सबसे पहले मैं आपको बता दूं, जीएसटी में रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए सबसे पहले प्राइमरली जो रिक्वायरमेंट है वो है थ्रेशोल्ड की, टर्नओवर की। अगर किसी भी व्यक्ति का, अभी मैं व्यक्ति अगर बात करूं तो पर्सन कैन बी इंडिविजुअल, फर्म, एचयूएफ, एलएलपी, कंपनी, एनीवन। अगर उस एक व्यक्ति का साल भर में टर्नओवर 20 लाख एक्सीड करता है तो आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन की रिक्वायरमेंट है। अभी 20 लाख में कहूंगा तो कई लोग कहेंगे सर 40 लाख की लिमिट चल रही है, क्या बात कर रहे हो। दो, द फैक्ट इज 40 लाख की लिमिट तब एप्लीकेबल है जब आप गुड्स और सर्विसेज दोनों में डील नहीं कर रहे हैं। अगर आप सिर्फ और सिर्फ गुड्स में डील कर रहे हैं तो लिमिट 40 लाख है। अगर आप गुड्स और सर्विसेज दोनों में डील कर रहे हैं या सिर्फ सर्विसेज में भी डील कर रहे हैं तो रजिस्ट्रेशन की लिमिट हो जाती है 20 लाख। अब जैसे आप म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स हैं, यू आर गिविंग सर्विसेज टू दी एसेट मैनेजमेंट कंपनी जिसके साथ आप रजिस्टर्ड हैं, एम्पैनल्ड है, तो वहां आप उनको सर्विसेज दे रहे हैं एंड इन टर्न यू गेट अ कमीशन फॉर हैविंग वेरियस क्लाइंट्स। तो जब ये सर्विस की कैटेगरी में आ जाता है तो ऑटोमेटिकली आपका थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट हो जाता है 20 लाख। अब अगर आपका 1 अप्रैल से स्टार्ट करें, फ्रॉम 1 अप्रैल टू 31 मार्च, इस सब के बीच में आपका टर्नओवर यानी कि टोटल अमाउंट जो आपको रिसीव हो रहा है किसी भी एएमसी से, या एग्रीगेट करें सबको जोड़ के अंडर वन पैन, तो वो सब अगर 20 लाख एक्सीड करता है तो आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन कंपलसरी हो जाता है। ये 20 लाख की लिमिट ऑलमोस्ट सारे स्टेट्स में है, बस 4 स्टेट्स को छोड़ के, जो आपके नॉर्थ ईस्ट के स्टेट्स हैं, त्रिपुरा, नागालैंड, मिजोरम, वहां पे 10 लाख की ही लिमिट है आज भी। अगर कोई ऐसा डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर इन स्टेट्स में डील कर रहा है, वहां पे उनका ऑफिस है और वहां से वो सर्विसेज दे रहे हैं, तो वहां पे 10 लाख क्रॉस होते ही आपको जीएसटी रजिस्ट्रेशन लेना पड़ेगा। अब ये तो बात हुई मैंडेटरी रजिस्ट्रेशन की, कब लेना कंपलसरी हो जाएगा। ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि मैं अपनी इच्छा से ले लूं कि मैंने अभी नया अपना डिस्ट्रीब्यूटरशिप स्टार्ट किया है और मैं चाहता हूं कि मुझे जीएसटी रजिस्ट्रेशन डे वन से चाहिए, तो कोई मना नहीं करेगा। यू कैन ऑलवेज टेक रजिस्ट्रेशन वॉलंटरली फ्रॉम डे वन एज वेल। पर एज पर लॉ दोनों चीजें अलाउड हैं, कि पहला तो कंपल्शन हो गया कि अगर आपका टर्नओवर एक स्पेसिफिक लिमिट से ऊपर चला गया तो, अदरवाइज आप खुद इच्छा से चाहें तो ले सकते हैं। अब सबसे बड़ा सवाल ये आता है मन में कि ये 20 लाख की कैलकुलेशन कैसे होगी। आइए देखते हैं। बेसिकली एक टर्म है एग्रीगेट टर्नओवर। अभी एग्रीगेट टर्नओवर कैसे काउंट होगा? हर व्यक्ति का, अब व्यक्ति को हम एक पैन से डिफाइन करते हैं कि जिसके पास एक पैन है वो एक व्यक्ति है। कोई भी एक व्यक्ति दो पैन नहीं रख सकता। एक प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी का एक पैन होगा, एक इंडिविजुअल का एक अलग पैन होगा, वो एक सेपरेट सिचुएशन है। पर वन पर्सन क्या है, वो ओनली वन पैन। अब उस पैन पे वो एक, दो, 10, 100, जितनी उसकी कैपेसिटी है उतने बिजनेस वो रन कर सकता है। ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि आपने एक नहीं, दो नहीं, बल्कि 10 एसेट मैनेजमेंट कंपनी से अपना डिस्ट्रीब्यूटरशिप ले रखा हो। क्वाइट पॉसिबल। अब हम सिर्फ म्यूचुअल फंड पे स्ट्रिक्ट ना करेंगे। म्यूचुअल फंड के अलावा हो सकता है आपने किसी दूसरी सेक्टर में भी कुछ लाइसेंसेस ले रखे हो। से फॉर एग्जांपल यू आर आल्सो सेलिंग इंश्योरेंस। से फॉर एग्जांपल यू आर गिविंग सर्विसेज टू वेरियस बैंक्स एंड मे बी यू आर आल्सो रनिंग सम अदर बिजनेस। तो ये एग्रीगेट टर्नओवर जो कैलकुलेट होता है, ये सबका टर्नओवर जोड़ के कैलकुलेट होता है पैन लेवल पे। मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल से समझाता हूँ। मान लीजिए आपकी म्यूचुअल फंड से एक एएमसी से आती है 15 लाख रुपए की कमीशन, दूसरे एएमसी से आती है 3 लाख रुपए की कमीशन, टोटल 18 लाख हो गए। इसके अलावा आपके पास इंश्योरेंस का कमीशन भी आता है साल भर का 5 लाख रुपए का। तो 18 और 5 लाख हो गए 23 लैक्स। मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इन दिस इज कि ये 23 लाख सिंगल पैन के ऊपर होना चाहिए, तो ये 23 काउंट होगा। आपको 20 लाख की लिमिट के लिए इंडिविजुअल लाइसेंस चेक नहीं करना है। सबका टोटल जोड़ के जब भी आप इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न फाइल करेंगे, उसमें टर्नओवर क्या दिखाएंगे, सबका जोड़ के दिखाएंगे। तो वही टर्नओवर आपका बेस बनेगा फॉर कैलकुलेशन की रजिस्ट्रेशन कब लेना है। ठीक है। सो लेट अस बी वेरी क्लियर कि ये एग्रीगेट टर्नओवर आपका पैन लेवल पूरे इंडिया लेवल पे कैलकुलेट होता है। से फॉर एग्जांपल आपके दो ब्रांचेस हैं, एक से राजस्थान में एक ब्रांच है, एक महाराष्ट्र में ब्रांच है, राइट। तो दोनों जगह से आप अपना बिजनेस कर रहे हैं अंडर सेम पैन। तो दोनों जगह से जो टर्नओवर कैलकुलेट हो रहा है वो दोनों ऐड करके चेक करेंगे कि एग्रीगेट टर्नओवर क्या बैठता है। तो अगर एक सिंगल लाइन में मैं आपको बताऊं कि व्हाट इज एग्रीगेट टर्नओवर, तो आपका पैन के ऊपर जितना भी टर्नओवर है सबको मिला के, मैं टर्नओवर कह रहा हूं, प्रॉफिट नहीं, यानी कि टोटल रिसीट्स, टोटल कमीशन, टोटल टर्नओवर सब जोड़ के देखेंगे। वो अगर 20 लाख क्रॉस करेगा तो आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन लेना कंपलसरी हो जाता है। और दोस्तों ये 1 अप्रैल 26 से नहीं है, ये कंसेप्ट आपका 1 जुलाई 2017 से ही एप्लीकेबल है। म्यूचुअल फंड अभी एमफी और सेबी की जो नई गाइडलाइंस आई हैं उसकी वजह से इसमें कोई चेंज नहीं है। रजिस्ट्रेशन अगर आपका आज से पहले भी किसी साल में 20 लाख से ऊपर चला गया है म्यूचुअल फंड का कमीशन या सब जोड़ के, तो आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन ले लेना था अगर आपने अभी तक नहीं लिया है तो। वो ध्यान रखिएगा। और मैं इसलिए भी कह रहा हूं क्योंकि अभी जीएसटी ने म्यूचुअल फंड्स डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स के ऊपर ही एक बहुत बड़ी मुहिम छेड़ रखी है, जिसमें उन्होंने काफी सारे म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स को नोटिस भेजे हैं पिछले साल में ही। और जहां जहां पे भी म्यूचुअल फंड कंपनीज और एएमसी से इंफॉर्मेशन गई है कि भैया हमने इनको इतना कमीशन पे किया, इतना कमीशन पे किया, एंड इट इज ऑल पैन बेस्ड, उन्होंने सबको एग्रीगेट कर दिया। और कहीं भी अगर वो 20 लाख से ऊपर क्रॉस कर रहा है तो सबको जीएसटी के नोटिस आए हुए हैं कि क्यों ना आपका रजिस्ट्रेशन, क्यों ना आपको दे दिया जाए और क्यों ना आपसे टैक्स ब्याज वसूल किया जाए। तो वी हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल, क्योंकि एक छोटी सी गलती हमें बहुत भारी नुकसान की तरफ ले जा सकती है। तो मैं फिर कहूंगा, रजिस्ट्रेशन अगर आपका एग्रीगेट टर्नओवर किसी भी एक साल में 20 लाख क्रॉस कर गया है तो जरूर चेक कर लीजिएगा, और जीएसटी का रजिस्ट्रेशन की रिक्वायरमेंट वहीं से आ जाती है। इससे रिलेटेड हो सकता है आपके पास बहुत सारे सवाल हों, तो इनको आप अभी नोट करके रख लीजिएगा। आई विल कैटर टू ऑल दोस क्वेश्चंस एट द एंड। ठीक है। इसमें आपकी कमीशन, इंसेंटिव्स, अदर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इनकम, जितनी भी इनकम्स हैं वो सब काउंट होंगी। ठीक है। चलिए, अब बात करते हैं म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटरशिप पे जो कमीशन मिलता है उसके ऊपर रेट ऑफ जीएसटी क्या है। रेट ऑफ जीएसटी है 18%, यानी कि अगर आपको 100 रुपए का कमीशन मिलता है तो उसके ऊपर 18% यानी कि 18 रुपए आपको टैक्स पे करना होता है। ये मैं जनरल सेंस में कह रहा हूं, अभी हम थोड़ा डिटेल में और आगे समझेंगे। 100 रुपए की अगर आपकी कमीशन है तो 18% के हिसाब से 18 रुपए जीएसटी बनता है, ये नॉर्मल कैलकुलेशन। ठीक है। इसमें बात यह है कि जो म्यूचुअल फंड कंपनी है या जो एएमसी है उनके ऊपर रिवर्स चार्ज मैकेनिज्म नहीं है। एज अ म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर आप सर्विसेज दे रहे हैं और आप ही उनसे कंसिडरेशन कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं, और आपको ही जीएसटी सरकार के पास जमा करवाना है। नॉर्मली इंश्योरेंस में हम देखते हैं कि इंश्योरेंस में रिवर्स चार्ज मैकेनिज्म में कंपनी टैक्स जमा कराती है, लेकिन म्यूचुअल फंड कमीशन के केस में ऐसी सिचुएशन नहीं है, और आपको ही जीएसटी जमा करवाना है, एंड इट इज टू बी 18%। अगर 100 रुपए कमीशन है तो 18 रुपए आपका जीएसटी हो जाता है। अभी रजिस्ट्रेशन अगर आपको लेना है तो दो तरीके से रजिस्ट्रेशन हो सकता है, पहला तो है रेगुलर और दूसरा है कॉम्पोजिशन। दोनों में क्या फर्क है आइए थोड़ा सा समझ लेते हैं। रेगुलर के अंदर क्या होगा, आप पूरा का पूरा 18% जो है आपके रिसिपिएंट, यानी कि आपके केस में जो एएमसी है, जो म्यूचुअल फंड कंपनी है, उससे आप टैक्स कलेक्ट कर सकते हैं और कलेक्ट करके सरकार को जमा करवा सकते हैं पूरा का पूरा 18%। इसमें आपको इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट मिल जाती है। इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट मतलब आप ये कमीशन अर्न करने के लिए जो भी एक्सपेंसेस करते हैं, फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपने ऑफिस रेंट पे ले रखा है, ऑफिस का रेंट पे करते हैं, ऑफिस के रेंट के ऊपर जीएसटी कई बार पे करना होता है। अगर वो पे आपने किया हुआ है आपके लैंडलॉर्ड को, तो वो जीएसटी जो आपने पे किया है उसकी इनपुट आपको मिल जाएगी। ठीक है। इसके अलावा और बहुत सारे खर्चे हो सकते हैं, आपके ऑफिस में फर्नीचर लगा, उस पर जीएसटी लगा हुआ है, उसकी इनपुट मिल जाएगी। हो सकता है आपने किसी प्रोफेशनल की सर्विसेज ली हो, आपने ऑडिट कराई हो, तो ऑडिट फीस के साथ आपने जीएसटी पे किया हो, उसकी इनपुट मिल जाएगी। अच्छा, बिना इंटरनेट के तो आपका काम हो ही नहीं सकता, तो इंटरनेट के साथ भी जीएसटी जाता है, उसकी इनपुट आपको मिल जाएगी। ऑफिस के लिए स्टेशनरी आपने खरीदी होगी, उसकी मिल जाएगी। तो ऐसे बहुत सारे आइटम ऑफिस के अंदर यूज होते हैं जिनके ऊपर जीएसटी आप पे करके आए होते हैं, लेकिन रेगुलर में उसकी सबकी इनपुट मिल जाएगी। अब उसका भी मैं आपको एक बहुत सिंपल एग्जांपल देता हूँ। 100 रुपए की हमने कमीशन ली थी, 18 रुपए उसके ऊपर हो गया हमारा जीएसटी आउटपुट टैक्स, राइट। और अगर हमारे जो हम खर्चे बात कर रहे हैं, ओके, सेशन इन इंग्लिश, I can have session in English as well if all the participants feel comfortable. Okay. Well, let's continue. Let's have a mix. Okay. I hope all are comfortable with English, and let's have a session in mixed language. So I'll use English and I'll use Hindi also, right? No issues. So what I was talking about is that the registration is of two types. One is regular and the other is composition. When you take regular registration, you have the right to collect the tax from your recipient, that is the AMC or the mutual fund company, and in turn you have to pay that tax to the government of India. While paying that tax, you can claim input tax credit. Input tax credit of all those GST which you have paid when you have acquired some goods or services for providing your services to AMC. Say, for example, you must be running an office which might be on rent. You might be paying GST on those rental expenses which you are bearing. That will be reduced from the output tax which you have to pay. Similarly, there must be furniture in your office. There must be other expenses like stationery, and n number of expenses can be there on which you must be paying GST. So if you have paid, say for example, 10 rupees as expense on as GST on all these expenses, and you have collected 18 rupees from the government, from the AMC as your output tax. So net amount which you are supposed to pay to the government is rupees 8. In short, what I can say is that by having a regular registration, you will have a profit of 10 rupees. Why? Because all these expenses you are already bearing. Now those expenses are reduced by the GST component which is included in there. तो कहने का मतलब ये है कि अगर आप रेगुलर में जाते हैं, आउटपुट टैक्स आपने कलेक्ट किया 18 रुपए, आपने इनपुट टैक्स आपके पास आ गया 10 रुपए, नेट 8 रुपए यू हैव टू पे टू द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया. This is one regular registration, right? This is the basic concept. When you take regular registration, you have to file GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B. These can be filed monthly also and quarterly also, depending upon the turnover. Up to 5 crores annual turnover, quarterly filing is allowed. Post 5 crores, it is compulsorily to be filed for monthly basis. Now let's talk about composition scheme. When we talk about composition scheme, the structure of this scheme is quite simple. What you have to do is there is no input tax credit. You have to simply pay tax at the rate of 6% on your total income. And this 6% you cannot collect from your customer. That is, your customer is AMC. You cannot collect 6% from the customer. Rather, this 6% will be borne by you under your commission only, right? No ITC benefit. And one more important aspect, the maximum turnover allowed in composition scheme where you can pay 6% is only rupees 50 lakhs for the entire year. Post 50 lakhs, you have to compulsorily come into the regular scheme of GST registration. Further, in composition scheme, you cannot provide interstate supplies. Now, what is interstate supply? We have two things in this GST. One is the supplier, and the second is place of supply. And place of supply in general terms, we can consider it as the place of recipient. So if supplier, you being registered in Maharashtra, say for example, and your recipient, the AMC, the mutual fund company is in Delhi, say for example. So both these are present in different states, and therefore it becomes an interstate supply. If both these situations fall under a same state, say for example, supplier is also in Maharashtra and the AMC company is also in Maharashtra, then it becomes intrastate. So whenever you go into composition scheme, you cannot give interstate supplies. Simple terms, we can say you cannot empanel yourself with any AMC which has an office outside your state. To provide composition services, your AMC must be there in that state where you want to get empaneled. So this is the basic difference between regular and composition. And if you're getting registered, my friends, I will advise you to go into regular scheme only, because in regular you have the right to collect tax extra from the company. In composition, you do not have the right. Further, 6% is total loss for in composition, and in regular you'll always get ITC on the expenses, and the expenses get reduced. In the long run, it becomes a profitable situation, right? Moving on. Now, what if you don't get yourself registered? The first and foremost component is the liability of registration came when you crossed your threshold. Say, for example, in the financial year 1920, you crossed your threshold of 20 lakhs. So 1920, first year being the threshold being crossed, you will get exemption for first 20 lakhs. For the remaining amount, you'll have to pay tax along with interest and penalty. And not just for 1920. For 2021 also, you'll have to pay tax on your entire collection. Similarly, for all those years subsequently, until and unless you again go beyond 20 lakhs. But if you are if you are working with a mutual fund company, and in the past years, what trend I have seen is that this sector is growing rapidly. So any distributor who started in 1920 has definitely grown from there if he is working seriously with the company. So growth is there in this sector, although it may take time for some person, and for some other person it may come very soon. But no doubt about it that the growth is there. The markets are running high, the investors are getting aware, and they are inclining towards mutual fund companies. So the mutual fund sector is prospering, and the growth is there. So, for example, if 1920 you had a turnover exceeding 20 lakhs, from then the amount has gradually increased only. And if a person had a liability to get registered in 1920, he is supposed to pay tax, interest, and penalty from that year till date if the person has not taken registration. And in my live example, yesterday only I made a calculation for a mutual fund distributor, and the total liability from 2021 to 24-25, the liability came out to rupees 30 lakhs with tax, interest, and penalty. So this is the consequence when we are not getting registered due to lack of awareness. Because many times we can see that because of insurance also, we are many times involved in insurance also. In insurance sector, the company is liable to pay GST. We are not liable to pay. But with mutual fund companies and various other services, we are liable to pay GST as service providers. So you have to check your past calculations also. If you have taken registrations and timely paid GST, well and good. And if not, and if you are supposed to take registration, so be prepared that you might also get notice in some due time. So first and foremost is that the additional liability of tax, interest, and penalty may come. And what is the quantum of interest and penalty? The quantum of interest is 18%, 18% per annum for the number of days delay. Say if I'm paying tax after 1 year, so I'll have to pay interest at the rate of 18%. Say 100 was my total commission, 18 becomes the tax. On that 18 rupees, I have to pay interest at the rate of 18% for 1 year. So if the delays of 3 years, the interest becomes 54% of tax. So this is the quantum which we are supposed to pay if we have not complied with the registration requirements. This is the quantum of interest. Now, what is the quantum of penalty? If it is proved that the non-registration and non-payment of GST was due to some clerical error, and we are now suo moto paying this amount, then penalty will not be levied if this is done before issue of show cause notice. What is show cause notice? That if the department comes across a situation that you were supposed to pay tax, you were supposed to get registered, but you are not. Say, for example, the department gives a notice asking as to why the interest, tax, and penalty should not be collected from that concerned person. So this becomes a show cause notice. If we voluntarily by ourselves pay tax, interest, and penalty before issuance of the show cause notice, then there is no penal consequences, there is no penalty, only pay tax, interest, the case is closed. But if if it is proved that this was done by due diligently, this was done with all the knowledge of laws, and it was deliberately not paid the GST, then penalty is also attracted for not payment of GST, and that is from 15% to 100% of the tax amount. So if the department points out that you are supposed to pay tax and if you are not paid, they'll definitely ask you to pay initially before issuance of show cause notice, tax, interest, and then 15% of the penalty, which is 15% of the tax amount. So overall, it becomes a huge burden on the person who is still late, not taken registration. And my dear friends, mark my words, department has all the information from mutual fund companies. And if they come across a PAN which has more than 20 lakhs turnover in a particular year and it is not registered in GST, the notice is going to come in due time. Next. Now, what how the system worked up till 31st March 2026. Let us understand that. Like, it is not my task to explain you guys because you were already knowing it and you were already doing it in the same system. What was happening is that as per SEBI guidelines, there is a total expense ratio which is defined for each kind of a scheme, right? What you can expense, what you can charge as expense from the investors, the total ceiling is fixed. Now, what AMC used to give the mutual fund distributors is a set percentage of commission. That commission was inclusive of taxes, whether you were registered or whether you were not registered. So, if we take an example that um, uh, an AMC has paid rupees 15 lakhs to a person or to a mutual fund distributor who's not registered under GST, his total income is 15 lakhs. But if same company is giving 15 lakhs to another mutual fund distributor who is registered under GST, and again the tax being paid, the commission being paid is 15 lakhs, the mutual fund distributor is supposed to calculate tax inclusive of that 15 lakhs, and then he has to pay GST to the government of India. How is the calculation done? We have discussed that the rate of tax applicable is 18%. Total amount received is 15 lakhs. If we consider 18% as inclusive, so 15 becomes value as 118. And then by reverse calculation, you work out how much is the GST. So this is how the calculation was done, and 15 lakh was given irrespective whether the person was registered or not. That created a competition disadvantage to those people who were registered as compared to those people who are not registered. Now, what SEBI came up with from 1st April 26, in March 2026, they issued a circular explaining of how the commission should be paid. From 1st of April 26, what they have said that the commission will now be split. Say total 100 rupees is the commission. As per calculation, 18% is inclusive in this 100 rupees. So it becomes moreover 85 and 15. Okay, Hindi also, right? So let's get back to the last slide and then we'll continue again. अभी तक 31 मार्च 26 तक कैसे हो रहा था? मान लीजिए म्यूचुअल फंड कंपनी को 15 लाख रुपए की कमीशन देनी है, तो वो सारे डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स को 15 लाख की कमीशन दे रहे थे, चाहे वो व्यक्ति रजिस्टर्ड हो चाहे ना हो। ठीक है, अभी अगर जो व्यक्ति रजिस्टर्ड है 31 मार्च से पहले भी, तो उनको जो 15 लाख की कमीशन मिली है उसमें जीएसटी शामिल है, और उस जीएसटी शामिल को जीएसटी कैलकुलेट करके जमा कराने की जरूरत है। कैसे कैलकुलेट करेंगे? 15 लाख डिवाइड बाई 118 इंटू 18, सिंपल मैथमेटिकल कैलकुलेशन है। अब उस टैक्स को आपको जमा कराना है सरकार। अगर म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर जीएसटी में रजिस्टर्ड नहीं था तो उसे कोई जीएसटी चुकाने की जरूरत नहीं है। सीधे सीधे 15 लाख रुपए की कमीशन रिसीव हुई और 15 लाख रुपए उनकी इनकम हो गई टोटल, मैटर क्लोज्ड। अब 1 अप्रैल से क्या हुआ है? व्हाट हैज हैपेंड फ्रॉम 1st ऑफ अप्रैल? 1 अप्रैल से सेबी ने मार्च 2026 में एक सर्कुलर इशू किया है और कहा है कि अब से आपका जो कमीशन है वो क्लियरली स्प्लिट अप होगा। 100 रुपए की कमीशन को 85 और 15, थोड़ा बहुत राउंड फिगर में अगर देखें तो 85 और 15 में उन्होंने डिवाइड कर दिया कि भाई 100 रुपए इंक्लूसिव ऑफ जीएसटी करके होता है 85 टैक्सेबल वैल्यू और 15 जीएसटी। अब जो म्यूचुअल फंड कंपनी है, जो एएमसी है, वो सबको 85 रुपीज देने वाले हैं। ठीक है, सबको 85। फर्क कहां आएगा? जो जीएसटी में रजिस्टर्ड नहीं है उसको 85 मिल रहा है, जो जीएसटी में रजिस्टर्ड है उसको 85 प्लस जीएसटी मिल रहा है। यानी कि अब आपका वो कंपटीशन डिसएडवांटेज जो था वो खत्म हो गया है, वेदर यू आर रजिस्टर्ड और नॉट। What has happened from 1st of April 26 is that the commission will now be properly split up. The total 100 rupees of commission has been divided into two parts. One is the commission amount and the other is the GST part. This is as per instructions issued by SEBI in the month of March 26, applicable from 1st of April 26. Right. So what has happened is, now if 100 rupees commission is there, it is split under two parts, 85 and 15. Now 85 is given to every mutual fund distributor and 15 is given to only those distributors who are registered under GST. So now the competition disadvantage which was being faced by those mutual fund distributors who were registered in GST is now over. Now all the mutual fund distributors are on same platform, whether you are registered or not. So everybody will be getting the same commission. Now, but there are certain compliances also. When will you get the GST amount? So what you have to do is, if you are registered under GST, if you have crossed the threshold of 20 lakhs, you are registered under GST. On a monthly basis, you have to raise an invoice. Invoice of what? Invoice of the commission amount which you are supposed to get. This can you can always get from the reports which are generated from the company. And sorry, just a sec. Okay. So what is happening is, as a mutual fund distributor, if you are registered under GST, you have to now raise invoice on monthly basis to your company, indicating the amount of commission and GST separately, and you will get the commission amount as and when the invoice is raised. And for the commission for the GST part, you will file your returns. On filing of returns, the amount will be reflected to the company in their GSTR 2B. Once it is reflected in their GSTR 2B, the mutual fund distributor will get reimbursement of the GST amount. So now the GST amount will be kept on hold by the mutual fund company till the time the mutual fund distributor pays the GST to the government. थोड़ा सा वर्किंग कैपिटल का बर्डन एक डेढ़ महीने के लिए आप लोगों के ऊपर आएगा, बट दिस इज फॉर एवरीबडीज बेनिफिट. एक प्रॉपर सिस्टम हो जाएगा, एंड दैट सिस्टम कैन बी फॉलोड एट लेंथ विद ऑल द डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स. अगर आप रजिस्टर्ड हैं तो प्रोसेस क्या है? हर महीने आपको एक टैक्स इनवॉइस रेज करना है. उसमें सेपरेटली मेंशन करना है कि आपकी कमीशन अमाउंट कितना है और जीएसटी अमाउंट कितना है. जब आप रिटर्न फाइल कर देंगे, सॉरी, जब आप इनवॉइस रेज कर देंगे तो कमीशन अमाउंट तो आपको मिल जाएगा, जीएसटी का अमाउंट होल्ड कर लिया जाएगा. जब आप रिटर्न फाइल कर देंगे, रिटर्न फाइल करने के बाद वो इंफॉर्मेशन कंपनी के पास पहुंच जाएगी कि हाँ रिटर्न फाइल हो गया है, उनको उनके रिटर्न में दिख जाएगा. उसके बाद आपका जीएसटी अमाउंट आपको रियम्बर्स हो जाएगा. तो अब जो लोग जीएसटी में रजिस्टर्ड हैं उनके लिए तो ये सिस्टम बन गया. जो लोग जीएसटी में रजिस्टर्ड नहीं है उनकी डेफिनेटली इनकम अब कम हो जाने वाली है, बिकॉज नाउ दैट जीएसटी कंपोनेंट इज टू बी रिड्यूस्ड. और अगर आपने जीएसटी रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं लिया है लेकिन आपको लेना चाहिए था, तो आज तुरंत ले लीजिए, ताकि आप कंपनी से वो एडिशनल अमाउंट रिकवर भी कर सकें और आप इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट भी क्लेम कर सकें. ठीक है. तो व्हाट इज द फाइनल इम्पैक्ट नाउ ऑन द म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स की? अब जो जीएसटी रजिस्ट्रेशन है ना, वो एक तरह से इकोनॉमिक नेसेसिटी बन गया है. नाउ इट इज नॉट जस्ट अ कंप्लायंस, इट इज अ नेसेसिटी. क्योंकि आपका टोटल रेवेन्यू सीधे सीधे इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है. अभी तक आपको 100 रुपीज मिलते थे, उसकी जगह 85 ही मिलेंगे. जो पहले से रजिस्टर्ड थे उनको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा है. जो पहले रजिस्टर्ड नहीं थे उनकी सीधे सीधे इनकम कम हो जाने वाली है 15% से. ठीक है, मोटा मोटी कैलकुलेशन है, एग्जैक्ट फिगर्स में वेरी. तो अब अगर आपको थोड़ी सी अपनी प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी मेंटेन रखनी है तो आपको जीएसटी रजिस्ट्रेशन लेना पड़ेगा, सो दैट यू गेट दैट एडिशनल अमाउंट. और जब आप जीएसटी रजिस्ट्रेशन ले लेंगे तो आपके जितने भी एक्सपेंसेस आपके ऑफिस के हो रहे हैं उसके ऊपर आपको इनपुट मिलना शुरू हो जाएगा. अब आपको ये कैलकुलेशन देखनी है कि आपका वो मंथली इनपुट इतना सफिशिएंट है कि उससे आपके दूसरे खर्चे, देखिए जीएसटी रजिस्ट्रेशन लेना तो बहुत आसान है, लेकिन फिर उसके साथ उसकी कंप्लायंस करना इट्स अ डिफरेंट लेवल. So once you get registered, you have to make sure that you comply with all the provisions of GST. You file timely returns, you pay tax timely. Otherwise, there will be interest burden. Otherwise, there will be late fees burden. So you have to make sure whatever benefit you are getting from the input tax credit which you get is more than what is the cost of compliance. So this cost benefit analysis you have to do if you are not registered and if you have less than 20 lakhs turnover. तो आपको ये कैलकुलेशन जरूर करनी पड़ेगी. अगर आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन लेना है तो कंप्लायंस लोड बढ़ जाएगा. म्यूचुअल फंड कंपनीज के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से आपके पास थोड़ी सी ट्रांसपेरेंसी अब दिखने लगेगी भी. आपको पता होगा एग्जैक्टली कि आपको जीएसटी का पैसा मिल रहा है नहीं मिल रहा है, एंड वेदर यू आर लाइबल फॉर रजिस्ट्रेशन और नॉट. ठीक है. तो बेसिकली कंक्लूजन क्या है? अब आपको ये देखना है कि आपको फुल इनकम रियलाइज करनी है, इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट का बेनिफिट लेना है, पेनल्टीज को अवॉइड करना है, और आपकी बिजनेस की क्रेडिबिलिटी बना के रखनी है. तो इन सब के लिए आपको कहीं ना कहीं जीएसटी में रजिस्ट्रेशन लेना पड़ेगा। और म्यूचुअल फंड वाला सेक्टर इतना ग्रोइंग है कि साल में 20 लाख रुपीज का कमीशन, लाइक इट इज फॉर एवरी सेकेंड पर्सन द थ्रेशोल्ड इज मेट। तो अगर आपका कहीं भी थ्रेशोल्ड 20 लाख क्रॉस कर रहा है तो आप जरूर रजिस्ट्रेशन लीजिए और सारी कंप्लाइंस आपकी करना शुरू कर दीजिए। That's it from my side. Thank you so much, guys, for wonderful listening. And let's open the house for questions and discussions, Rahul ji.
Devendra ji, we will move to the question and answer in a bit. First of all, thank you to be able to cooperate and take on both the request of speaking Hindi and English, so that most of the audience can get the best out of this webinar. I would like to take 5 minutes of time before going to Q&A session. I would like to show that how MIDASX, at MIDASX you can generate your GST bill, generate the GST invoice. It will not take more than 2 minutes. We will cover that point just straight away, so that if anybody has questions pertaining to that GST invoice which is getting generated, we can take up those questions also with Devendra ji. I will quickly share my screen. Let me know if my screen is visible.
Yes, Rahul ji, it is visible.
Yeah. So first of all, we have to create a GST master in the platform. Once the GST master is created, you can define what is the GST implication, 99%. What a GST implication is 99%. You can create a one-time master. You can create bill type category. So why there are multiple things? There might be cases where you are dealing with sub brokers. So in that case, you might not have to pay. So accordingly, you can set up the master. Once the master is set up, you can see the bill listing. Let's say for 2026 January, you want to select all ARN, select bill type as, let's say, brokerage payment. You just submit. You can see any kind of brokerage bill that you might have created. Now, this is how the tax invoice gets populated. Here, your company details are mentioned. Your MFI ARN registration number with address, PAN, and GST number is mentioned. This invoice number is auto calculated, auto fed up in the system. Your details of the AMC are predefined in the platform, so you can use those pre-filled details. This is the description of services, brokerage payment for the month of February, the HSN number, what is the amount of the commission, what is the amount of the GST, and the total with your PAN number, your declaration, and the company's authorized seal. So these tax invoices can be generated from the platform itself. The brokerage file which gets uploaded in the system, basis which these tax invoice, this data is pre-filled, and accordingly the amount and GST component is calculated, tax invoice is generated. We are now, because of this implication, we earlier it was manual, but we are now working on making it automated. We can define the date, let's say 15th of the month can be the date on which all the invoice gets generated. Then you just have to send it to the respective AMC, post the payment of the GST. That is how our platform can help. So this is, I wanted to share that through platform how we can do it. Now open to the questions. After the Q&A on this, we have a gift for you all, since you have joined and taken us time and have interacted with us, given your 1 hour of time. We have launched some of the AI tool. I will showcase this for a couple of 2 to 5 minutes, and those who have participated in the webinar are eligible to get that specific tool for free today. Over to you, Devendra ji.
हाँ,
Okay, so now because the question answer will be from individual, it can be in Hindi, it can be in English. So
no issues.
whatever they will ask, accordingly you can take. What we can do is, as Mr. Om Prakash Ray has raised the hand, I will allow him to talk, and we can have this discussion.
There are certain questions in the chat box as well. So let us first address those questions and then we can come to one discussion, if that's
Okay,
okay with you.
okay, no problem. Om Prakash ji
Okay.
will get back to you in a
So,
minute. Uh, so
uh,
Ankit Gandhi has, you can take the questions one by one, sir.
yeah, okay. For interstate point, how to determine AMC office address? I understand AMC is spread across country. You're very right, sir. AMC is spread across the country, but you must be allotted one point where you are raising your invoice. Say if you are there in Maharashtra and if you are raising the bill to AMC, which is again whose office is situated in Maharashtra, say for example Mumbai only. So in that case, the place with the address which you mentioned on your invoice, like just now the Rahul bhai shared his invoice format wherein you have to mention the name of recipient, that is the AMC company, their address, their GSTIN. So if you are taking their GSTIN as that of Mumbai only or Maharashtra only, and you are also in Maharashtra, then it becomes intrastate. It means CGST and SGST 9 and 9. If you're raising an invoice to another state AMC and their GST registration is different state, every state will have a separate GST registration, right? So if a company has 25 registrations, has offices in 25 states, they will have 25 GST registrations. One GST registration pan India is not allowed. One registration per state is allowed. So if you are raising your invoice to the same state where you are located, it becomes intra. If you're raising invoice to another state office, it becomes interstate. I hope that's clear. Right? Okay. What is typical compliance cost range would also do? Sir, for the range, I would like to suggest you to meet a tax consultant in your vicinity, in your nearby area. And this fees differs from person to person, and I cannot comment on that. So for the cost compliance
Devendra,
part, like
if we can give some, like, I understand every person has a
some
different
brief
setup.
idea. Okay, let us
Some,
have some brief idea. Some brief idea, maybe like ranging from 12 to 25,000 rupees per annum. This may be the range we can talk about
perfect.
for regular GST compliance. Then, then we have composite GST firm will get 18% less, and on top of it, need to pay 6% GST. Isn't it against tax policies? Sir, your concern is very right, but this is how the law is drafted. And the composition scheme is only for those who want to work on a small scale and don't want to get into complex structures. If you want to go into composition, you'll get 85 rupees out of 100, and then again on 85, you'll have to pay 6% tax. So it is feasible, and that is why I was saying composition scheme is not going to be beneficial in the long run. A regular scheme will be beneficial always. So to answer your questions, against the tax policies, no, it is not, because it is just to give a benefit to small taxpayers that they can opt, and this is just optional. It is not compulsion that you have to do it. So if it is not suiting you, you cannot, you please not take. That's the simple. Explain in Hindi language in very simple manner for GST registered distributor. Okay, that's I believe a compliment. Thank you so much. When to actually raise GST invoice and when to pay GST. Also, earlier invoices were sent to registered distributor by AMC only. So what was happening earlier is that the invoice was generated by AMC only. Okay, no issues. But from now on, compulsorily, rather it was there earlier also, but now on, strictly we have to stick to this situation that the distributor has to raise invoice to the AMC on a monthly basis, and accordingly you'll get payments. Accordingly, you have to report these in the GST returns as well. There is GSTR 1, which covers the situation where you have to report all your tax invoices, and it has to be with serial number. It cannot be broken in between. So if the AMC is generating some invoice, you take that on your record, consider it. On that basis, you generate your own invoice. आपको खुद का टैक्स इनवॉइस आपके खुद के सीरियल नंबर के साथ आपके खुद के लेटर हेड पे वो सब जनरेट करना पड़ेगा, एंड दैट यू हैव टू रिपोर्ट इन योर GSTR 1. Accordingly, the compliance will be done. Right. So now when to pay GST is like if you are paying every month. So every month before 20th, in case of regular, you have to pay tax. For composition, every 3 months before 18th of the next month after the end of quarter, you have to pay tax. Otherwise, there are interest repercussions. And okay, then we have okay, there are two returns basically, GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B. If you are going for monthly return, GSTR 1 due date is 11th, and GSTR 3B through which tax is paid, the due date is 20th, right? And if you are going for QRMP, that is quarterly return monthly payment, in that case, you have to make payment on every month by 25th. And finally, you have to calculate the entire tax and file a consolidated return at 3 months' time. That also can be done. Okay. पैम्स एंड कार्वी से डायरेक्ट बिल डाउनलोड एंड अपलोड कर सकते हैं सर, कर सकते हैं सर। उसमें बस आप ये देखिएगा कि आपका जो सीरीज है टैक्स इनवॉइस का वो मेंटेन होना चाहिए। अगर वो मेंटेन होता है तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, आपका सीरीज ब्रेक नहीं होना चाहिए। दैट यू हैव टू मेक श्योर। What will be the GST implication if we have to pay a part of our commission to our sub broker? He, she may be registered or may not be. Can you explain? Okay. Now, what happens is you are in the shoes of AMC now and you have a sub broker. तो वही सिचुएशन है, अगर आपको उनको कमीशन देना है तो जो भी कमीशन आप दे रहे हैं वो इंक्लूसिव जीएसटी मान के रखिए। अगर वो जीएसटी में रजिस्टर्ड है तो वो जीएसटी अमाउंट होल्ड करके दीजिए। जब वो अपना रिटर्न फाइल कर दें और आपके पास इंफॉर्मेशन आ जाए, देन यू कैन गिव देम द जीएसटी अमाउंट। और अगर वो जीएसटी में रजिस्टर्ड नहीं है तो वो आपको जीएसटी पोर्शन हटा के उनको पेमेंट करना है। सेम कंसेप्ट जो आपके साथ एएमसी कर रही है वही सेम कंसेप्ट आपको फॉलो करना है सब ब्रोकर के साथ। सो इट्स अ चेन बेसिकली। Earlier, GST was computed before 10th of every month for income received. हाँ, सेम कंसेप्ट। ओके। 11th आपका GSTR 1 का 11th है और 20th आपका GSTR 3B का डेट है। What will be the impact? Sorry. What will be the impact of GST changes on national distributors like NJ and Prudent and their sub brokers? Like the impact is same, sir. I mean, if they were already registered, there is no impact on them as such. All those mutual fund distributors who were registered before 1st of April 26, there is no impact at all because जीएसटी लॉ में कोई चेंज नहीं हुआ है, जीएसटी प्रोविजंस में कुछ चेंज नहीं है। जीएसटी इज एज इट इज। जो पहले
सर
रजिस्टर्ड थे, जो
सर
फॉलो कर रहे थे, वही आज भी कर रहे
इस
हैं।
केस में एक क्वेश्चन मतलब जो रघु ने रेज किया है विच इज जैसे
हम्म।
नेशनल डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर है फॉर एग्जांपल एनजे एंड प्रूडेंट, दे गेट
हम्म।
दे आर जीएसटी रजिस्टर्ड, ठीक है, दे गेट द
हम्म।
जीएसटी प्लस कमीशन फ्रॉम द एएमसी। नाउ
हम्म।
दे नीड टू डू द पे आउट टू द सब ब्रोकर।
हम्म।
When they pay out to the sub broker, what will be the impact on the earning of the sub broker? Because now
हाँ।
they were
हाँ।
passing on that GST also, GST income as well. Because
Yes, exactly. Like what is happening with your AMC now, that same impact you have to give to your sub brokers.
yes,
This we have already addressed the question. Let's discuss it again. जैसे मान लीजिए अभी क्या हुआ है, अगर आप खुद के ऊपर ये लीजिए, इफ यू आर रजिस्टर्ड यू आर गेटिंग एंटायर 100 रुपीज, but you have to pay rupees 15 to government as GST, right? If you are not registered, the AMC will pay you rupees 85 only. Now same will happen with you and your sub broker. If your sub broker is registered and the commission amount is 100, then you have to give him 85 plus 15. Once he pay the tax to the government, it reflects in your GSTR 2B, you will reimburse rupees 15. If the broker is not registered and if you are earlier supposed to pay 100 as commission, now you will only pay 85 as commission. It's as simple as this.
but Devendra ji,
Whatever the
is it mandatory? Is it because let's say if I am a NJ as a
hmm,
national distributor, there is 100 rupees that I have received because I am GST compliant, and there is my cost. I have taken out all the expenses from it. The cost is lower, so GST at the end, which I have to pay to the government, is small. Now I have the
hmm.
GST benefit being available. Can I not pass on that to the sub brokers and make it as a use it as a leverage, while other people might
That's
not be
that's
able to do?
entirely your call. That's entirely
That's a
call. If
business
your
call.
business permits,
That's a
हाँ,
business call.
it's a business call. If your business permits, you can do it. There's no compulsion. But the prudent practice will be like when you're getting 85 only, the proportionate of 85 only will flow. That's
That's
my entire
more
point.
like it's more like a business call. There is no
It's a business call.
no tax
It's a
compliance
business call. Yes.
technically from the IT on this.
Mm. Nothing of that sort. It's your
Perfect.
business call.
We can move to the few further questions.
If we file quarterly GST, then GST would also be paid after quarter. Yes, sir. In this, you have one more option. For quarterly, there is one substitute return IFF, Information Furnishing Facility, which you file on monthly basis, and the information is passed on to the AMC on monthly basis. So that can be done. Even if you are paying GST quarterly, tax you have to pay monthly, and there is a monthly return in addition. So if you are going to this complex structure, it is better to be monthly only. So there is same compliance cost, right? And there is almost similar compliance, then why to be in PRMP? It is better to be in monthly structure then. My income is 2 lakhs and I don't have GST, then should I start GST or not? What's the yearly expense of GST? Sir, I would suggest कि if this is your total collection, it seems like you've just started. So I personally advise that you should not take registration. And once you at least reach 15 to 20 lakhs limit, then it is advisable to take GST registration. Otherwise, your compliance cost will exceed your benefits, and it will not be a prudent practice to get into GST for that purpose. This 2 lakh, I'm assuming per annum and not per month. Okay.
That's a good check.
If it is per month, then obviously 20 lakhs you have to take registration. There is compulsion.
Yes, yes. Suchita, ma'am, I'll get back to you on this. Yes, we will have GST and non-GST inclusion while calculating the sub-brokerage payout. We have furthermore questions on
Yes.
in the Q&A section as well. If you open it, first one is from Mr. Ankit Gandhi. For last FY, my income was more than 20 lakh, and this FY, my income is less than 20 lakh. Should I go for registration?
So for last FY, I'm considering 24-25, and this FY, I'm considering 25-26, say for example, right? So if your 24-25 limit was, your commission was 25 lakhs. So now you're supposed to take registration in 24-25 only. Now what you can do is take registration today, pay tax on the commission in 24-25, which is exceeding 20 lakhs. Say, for example, 25 lakhs is the total commission, 20 will be reduced on 5 lakh, considering inclusive that GST is included in 5 lakh, you have to pay that, but again, interest will be there. And for 25-26, you have to pay GST on the entire lakhs because now you don't have the small benefit that was in the first year only. So for 25-26, if your commission is, say, for example, 15 lakhs, you have to pay GST on entire 15 lakhs. And then for this current year, you can continue to pay, and also you have the option to surrender your registration once you simply pay it. Or what you can do is you can take a temporary registration and pay the due taxes which were applicable for 24-25 and 25-26. This will remove the burden from you, and any chances if you get any notice in future, you will not have any additional liability. This is a prudent practice which one should follow, and ultimately the call will be yours.
Great. We will move to the next question by Shrikant Kulkarni ji. Please let us know the cutoff dates during the month and what to select during uploading and downloading on CAMS and Kari FinTech.
This question is for you, sir, I guess.
So cutoff date, as sir mentioned, is 20th, right, sir? 20th of
20th is for filing the returns, but they are
filing the
asking for
returns.
uploading of invoices. So invoices are filed in GSTR1, which date is 11. So they are asking when your software, what is the cutoff date to upload the invoices in softwares? For
So
GST purposes, it is
basically,
11th and
I'll tell
20th.
you how it works, Shrikant ji. Whenever there is a whenever the data has come in the brokerage file from the RTA, at that time data has to be uploaded in the platform. Once the data is available, basis which in the real time you can take out the invoices and send it to the AMC as soon as possible. That is as per your operational capability. But the day brokerage file gets the data of the previous month, that is the day when you can upload and generate the invoices from the platform and submit it to the AMC.
Okay.
Harshad sir, as if I started now for GST relation, even if not crosses 20 lakh.
Yes, if you can make a calculation that your benefits from getting GST registration are higher than what your compliance cost is, then you can always go for taking registration. And if you have touched already 16 lakhs limit, maybe in the next year you will touch 20 lakhs. So you'll obviously have to get registration. So you can start small, learn thoroughly, and then you can have a better compliance structure.
Okay. I have question from Mr. Dheeraj Kohli. Hello, sir. All AMC are sending GST invoices with the name broker underscore GST underscore invoice. Please ask them to send with the AMC prefix name if it's possible for you to communicate to them. That's more like a very general question, should be raised from the associations to the AMC. I think those are the better forum to take this to the right audiences, right people, because we are yet to get more clarity from the AMC because this is the first month. There are some changes that they will do in the system. There are changes we expect to be done by the AMC. Anyways, this process is not a very old process. This is just now, as sir mentioned, that it is applicable since 2017. All of our corporate clients were using the platform for generating the invoice and said that this was something that they were doing on a monthly basis prior to this as well. Just that the onus was earlier, the onus was on MFD to do the payment. It was expected them to do the payment, pay the GST on time, and submit the GST bill to AMC. Now it has just reversed. That the onus is now on the mutual fund distributor to do the payment first and then take the benefit. Earlier, it was the other way. Only that has changed. Otherwise, for MFD who are registered with GST, then nothing changes for them. It's the same process that they were following earlier. What will the GST implication if we have to pay part payment of our commission to sub-broker? I think we have taken that question. I will move further.
Yes, you have taken this question.
If my income is 2 lakh and I don't have GST, then should I start GST? This question also, Sachinji, has been answered that it is not recommended to take GST if it is only 2 lakh per annum specifically, not per month. So you can, anyone who has this question, generally, as sir mentioned, if your income is in range of 15 to 20 lakh, to 15 to 20 lakh, that is the right time when you can start looking for the GST number registration so that you have you can take benefit of this. Can AMC provide GST invoice every month to match the exact amount? Miji will have to see that how the first round of GST things will come. But yeah, the exact amount will match with the brokerage file for sure. Even if annual income is around 5 lakh per annum or 2 lakh per annum, then also 15 to 25K compliance cost is feasible as there would be some input GST which can be set off. Is this understanding right?
Yes, yes, this understanding is right. But that input, you have to very well ensure that the eligible input only you're taking. Now, because the next question is like, can we take ITC of vehicle from GST as a service sector? So, the ITC on vehicle is very restricted. See, if you're using a goods vehicle, okay, if you're using a goods vehicle for a vehicle which is being used for transportation of goods, then the ITC is available. But in your case, there is no such requirement of goods vehicle. But if you are using vehicles for passenger transportation of your employees, maybe, then the vehicle has to be more than 13 seating capacity, 1 3. So if the vehicle having up to 13 seating capacity, including driver, the ITC is not available. In the ITC is only available to those who are dealing in those types of vehicles, those who are providing training of running those vehicles. Only to those people the ITC is available. Otherwise, the ITC of vehicle is not available. So be very careful. That is why I'm saying that until and unless you reach at least a 15 lakh mark, do not rush into GST compliances, because one small wrong step will cost you lakhs of rupees. So that is not feasible at all.
Great. Mr. Omkar Sule has a question. For GST registered mutual fund distributor, what is suggested by you? Generate tax invoice or download, consider if GST invoice is sent by the AMC, which will AMC continue to give invoices? I think the process will not change. It will be the same because it has been going on. Again, just for the matter of repetition, it will be the onus is changing. The process is changing on the raising who will deduct the GST or who will pay the GST. That's it. Nothing else changes.
I just want to add one
Sure,
more line
sure.
to this. Basically, as per law, the CGST Act, it is the compliance on part of the supplier to raise invoice. Even if the AMC is giving you an invoice, you can use that invoice, but make sure that the Rule 46 compliance is done. What is the compliance? That it should have a serial number, tax invoice number, properly serially numbered. AMC might be generating invoices for all mutual fund distributors, and the serial numbers may vary. If they are specifically generating serial numbers as per your need, then you can use that. But just make sure that your tax invoice is fully compliant, and only then you'll get the benefit.
That's another check that you will have to ensure. In this case, it is important that you check it once, double check things. You can check the past, you can check the future invoices, and then accordingly you can maintain it. Even if the annual income is, we have taken this question, please explain about our software and process and fees. Sir, we'll take that in a bit once the questions are answered. Will there be GST compliances for the RIA?
Sorry?
There is, so along with MFD, there is registered investment advisor, those who deal in direct plan, they charge fees. Will there be GST compliances for the RIAs?
GST compliance is like was there for all service providers whose threshold was exceeding 20 lakhs.
Simple.
There is no change in the GST provision.
Perfect. Uh, Ajay Mishra ji, we will talk about, talking about the software pricing is linked to the number of investor you are servicing. It starts from 100 rupees and goes till 150 rupee per investor per year. This is the fees that we charge. After this call, maybe our team can reach out to you, explain the process details, and then you can get in touch with them. Now, just I guess some people, anyone who has any questions left, we can take it. Anyone wants to speak and raise the hand, and we can we can unmute you. Mr. Shrikant Kulkarni ji, I'm just, yes, Shrikant ji, I think you can speak now.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, sir, I just wanted to have a clarification on when we upload the invoices on CAMS and KFintech. The challenge is of the selection of the month, because see what happens is that the whatever the commissions earned, let's say in the month of March, the invoice gets raised in the month of April, that is 6th or something, and that reaches out to us, and then when we upload it back, there is a lot of confusion in selecting the month during the returns filing and whatever the thing. So if we can just throw a little light on that, because see, the CAMS follows a different scenario and KFintech follows a different scenario. So if you can just give us some handholding on that, it will be thankful to you.
See, as far as GST returns are concerned, the month is the date which you have mentioned on the tax invoice. If you have for the commissions earned in the month of March, if you are raising invoice on, say, for example, 10th of April, this invoice will be reflected in the month of April GST which you are filing. So as far as GST returns are concerned, the month is directly linked to the date of invoice. As far as the softwares are concerned, I think Rahul bhai, you are the right person to answer that question.
Yeah, so in the software, you can generate based on month. Again, as sir mentioned, the date of invoice generation will be as on the day on which you are generating the invoice. The brokerage month would be March in this case, which you mentioned. The brokerage month, so your description of the services say brokerage paid for the month of March. The invoice date will say 9th of or 10th of the April,
Correct.
and filing would be in April.
Filing would be in April only.
Yes.
Okay, so so it is basically what we earn during that particular month. Like if what is the earnings during March, the filing would happen in the month of April.
Yes.
Okay.
But the description will be earning of month of March.
In the invoice, the description will be mentioned as March.
Yes, sir. We'll move further to Om Prakash ji.
या गुड इवनिंग
Yes.
बेसिकली मेरा जो क्वेश्चन था कि हमारे पास जो इनवॉइसेस आते हैं हम लोग 11th के बाद 11th तक उसको अपलोड कर देते हैं नाउ एक बार वो अपलोड हो गया यहाँ तक का प्रोसेस प्लस उसके बाद 8 बिफोर 20th वी आर मेकिंग द पेमेंट। अब मेरा एक पहला क्वेश्चन ये है कि आपके जो प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं उसमें और जो कैम्स और केफिनटेक से जो आ रहे हैं उसमें क्या कोई बेसिक डिफरेंस है या वो सेम? नाउ
नहीं
कमिंग टू
सर, सेम है इसके अंदर।
ओके
जस्ट दैट आप अपना इनवॉइस का नंबर वगैरह सब कुछ आप डिफाइन कर सकते हो।
सर कैंप्स में तो जो नंबर आता है वो सेम रहता है, वो लोग दे आर गिविंग द प्री डिफाइंड नंबर कैंप्स वाले, बट केफिन टेक में जो होता है वो अपना नंबर हम लोग डाल सकते हैं, देयर इज अ ऑप्शन,
यस,
बट कैंप्स का तो वो आता है।
अपने
सो
प्लेटफॉर्म, अगर हम प्लेटफॉर्म से लेते हैं तो प्लेटफॉर्म में आप एक बेस सीरीज सेट कर सकते हैं ताकि कभी भी अकाउंटिंग एरर ना हो। हर बार इट विल बी इंक्रीमेंटेड बाय 1।
परफेक्ट परफेक्ट। एंड द सेकंड क्वेश्चन इज सर, मेरा एक जो कंपनी है वो कॉर्पोरेट स्ट्रक्चर में है और जो मेरा कुछ इंश्योरेंस बिजनेस है वो इंडिविजुअल उसमें है, तो कैन वी यूज दैट कॉर्पोरेट स्ट्रक्चर का जीएसटी का टू इंडिविजुअल, और वहां पे उसका दिया जा सकता है या दैट हैज टू बी एक्सक्लूडेड?
देखिए, दोनों अलग चीजें हैं। कॉर्पोरेट स्ट्रक्चर, इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट आइदर एलएलपी और अ कंपनी, प्राइवेट लिमिटेड और मे बी पब्लिक लिमिटेड, राइट?
करेक्ट सर।
So the company will have a separate PAN.
करेक्ट
You
सर।
as an individual have a separate PAN.
सर
So whenever we talk about compliances in GST, We are talking about all the compliances related to one single PAN. So if I'm talking about threshold limit, if you have 18 lakhs in your company and if you have 18 lakhs in your individual capacity, the 20 lakhs threshold is not met in both the scenarios, and both the scenarios you don't need registration. Say, for example, in your company, your threshold is, so your limit is 25 lakhs, your turnover is 25 lakhs, and in your individual capacity, your turnover is 15 lakhs. Then you need registration only in company, not in the individual. So this entire working has to be done PAN basis.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Most welcome.
Thank you. Now we have Rashmi Ramesh, ma'am.
Yeah, hi, good evening, Mr. Rahul. So I am setting up my own practice as a distributor from next month. So my question is, if I don't get GST even in the beginning, won't it my income drop to 84, 85 rupees for every 100 rupees of income that I could have got earlier? And what is the right threshold to say that GST is required for the company?
Yes, ma'am, which you would have been getting earlier as 100 up to 31st of March. Now you'll be getting rupees 85. Now, as per SEBI instructions, this has to be mandated for all companies or for all mutual fund distributors. And the threshold for getting registration is 20 lakhs per annum. From like you'll be starting from next month. So from first invoice till the total of all invoices until it gets 20 lakhs, you are not required to get registered. If you want to voluntarily get yourself registered, you can always do that. You simply have to do the cost benefit analysis, because once you get registered, you get the extra 15 rupees, but that is not going in your pocket. That has to go to the government of India. So you are not getting any extra benefit. The only extra benefit which you will get is that if you incur any expenses, say for example, office rent, office furniture, office stationery, internet, and you are paying GST on those, on all those inward supplies, you will get benefit of that GST input tax credit. So if you're getting benefit out of those expenses and that benefit is more than your GST compliance cost, then you can always go for taking registration. Otherwise, it is not feasible. And in my personal experience, till 15 lakhs, it is not required.
Okay.
Otherwise, there may be a situation that you are having benefit and you can take registration. That can be a situation, but that is the proportion is very low.
So may I know what is the GST compliance cost we might be referring to here?
Ma'am, compliance cost may range from 12,000 to 25,000 to 30,000 per annum.
Oh, which is the auditor fee, right?
No, that is only the consultancy fees and for filing returns, monthly returns.
Okay. Okay, got it. Understood. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Rashmi, ma'am. So we have few more questions, sir. If your time permits, can we take them?
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead, Mojus.
So Mr. Harshad Sir said, could you please update the list where we can get ITC?
See, there's no exhaustive list. I can tell you where you will not get the ITC. There's a list. If you can refer to section 17, subsection 5 of the CGST Act 2017. It contains around 13-14 items, list of items, where it says, the Act says that you will not get ITC. If any of your inward supply is outside the scope of those 13-14 items, then you will get ITC. So it is the other way around. The negative list is there that ITC will not be available on these items, wherein vehicle is one, aircraft is one, food and beverages is one, personal insurance is one, personal expenses is one. There are 13-14 list items wherein you don't get the ITC benefit.
Then we have question from Mr. Mahesh Kabra. So Amit also have another follow-up question. There are hardly any ITC which reduces the effective GST liability for MFD. Can you give some suggestion to reduce effective liability?
Suggestions like there are no suggestions to reduce the liability. There are suggestions to plan the liability. You can plan. You cannot reduce by yourself. If you are registered in GST, you have to pay 18% to the government of India. What you can plan is whenever you are doing some expenditure which is related to your business and to your office, try to have an invoice from the supplier on which he has charged you GST, and you make sure that your GST number is mentioned on the invoice which you are getting from your supplier. Say, for example, you go and buy stationery. Normally, what we do is we go to any stationery shop and buy stationery. But now, if you want credit, input tax credit, you have to buy from a store who is registered under GST, having regular GST registration, will issue a tax invoice wherein your GST will be mentioned, tax will be mentioned separately. So your cost of stationery is reduced. Once your cost is reduced, profitability is increased. And you can do this with every other item wherein GST is charged. Be specific. Let me be specific. The expenditure has to be for your business. Say if you're installing AC at your residence, the benefit of GST will not be available to you. If you are installing AC in your office, wherein you are sitting, catering to clients, giving advices to your investors, and then earning commission on that, the GST component on that AC will be available to you for input tax credit, but not the other way around. If it is on residence, then no.
Great. So, few more, two, three more questions. We'll wind it up.
Hmm.
Since RIA do not get brokerage from AMC, they charge from customer for their advisory services. Can they charge GST from their clients?
Yes, they can charge what you have quoted. Like whenever I'll give you a simple example. You go and buy steel bars. Saria, we buy for construction. The supplier, the vendor gives you a quote, say rupees 70 per kg. Now 70 per kg may be inclusive of GST, may be exclusive of GST. Whatever the price you are quoting to your clients, you have to make sure that you're quoting exclusive of GST price, and your client knows about it. Once you have given your services and then you are saying that the fees I quoted was exclusive of GST, you might have an argument that no, it was inclusive of GST. You have to be very clear at the time of quoting your fees that this fees is exclusive of GST, and you can always take GST from your customer. It is advisable to take, because otherwise it will become part of your cost. Or you design your fees in such a way that it is always included in that price.
Instead of 1%, you can start with 1.18, and that ensures that it
Yes.
is done and you don't have
You
to
can start with 1.2 and then you do the reverse calculation.
Sure. I guess we have taken a low name of not getting ITC, so we will search it.
I'll write it in the chat box.
Okay.
I think I can send only to hosts and panelists.
Okay. You can just
I'm
type.
writing here. You can just copy paste and submit to all.
Sure. Yeah, the answer is in the chat. What are the charges for invoice generation from your software? There are no additional charges for it. It comes as a part of the software offering. So great. I guess we had a lot of questions today. Good interactive session. Thank you, Devendra ji. Thank you for your time today, and thank you everyone for joining us. Stayed connected for more than 75 hours. We rarely see that kind of energy in the webinar, but it was an interactive session. Great information that was passed. Thank you, Devendra ji, for joining us once again and enlightening a lot of things, clearing out a lot of basic queries. While it's a very much talked about concept these days in the industry, but there are always small nudges that remains open in the mind. It is better to get clarity on all these points. Uh, for everyone, I think because we have exceeded the time, I would not take you to the platform, but I will just take 1 minute to show you some things that we have built. Uh, I will not take much time. We have created a AI-based Agent M, which is your mutual fund chat GPT kind of thing, which will help you understand your client attrition, portfolio leaderboard, brokerage intelligence, SIP bounce report, SIP intelligence, and a lot of things. It's AI running on your database to give you output. For example, this is the MFI industry data. Till the source of the data is MFI and monthly report that comes in. From that, we have taken out certain analysis. What is the market trend? What is the market story? What is the thing that you have to narrate to your customers? So that it gives you a lot of talking point. What is the opportunity in the market? Any caution flags? what are the signals, what is the total industry AUM, net inflows, total outflows, SIP book. The SIP has increased 8x in the last 1 decade. So SIP is growing. How are things moving across different asset classes? Which are the category rotation radar? Which funds are from where people money is moving out and where it is moving in? All these detail asset class wise, smart money signal. And what we have done here is, while these are not just the number, there is a commentary on top of it so that you can understand everything easily. So at every place, we have tried to keep it more interactive. The money moved from liquid fund to the ETFs to flexi cap funds. All these details that you require to empower your customers, give them best advisory, are being covered here. Where is the redemption pressure going on? Category wise pressure, performance attribution in different segment classes, how the AUM has grown. Has it grown because of the market movement or the new money that has flown in? Breakup of it as per different category again. What is average folios, number of folios which are growing? What is the AUM per folio? This is your AMC market share movement quarter on quarter. What has changed in the market share of the AMC, industry concentration, which AMCs are IFA friendly, which AMCs are more on direct thing. So like that, we have a lot of research tools that we have created. You can interact with the AI. Let's say you say portfolio of some client, so you don't have to go and search there. It just checks it out. Okay, there is one Ketan Soni here. He just clicks on it, get the entire portfolio with the details in less than 10 seconds. You have everything, portfolio health score, etc., all in the interactive way. This report you can share with the customers. They can understand more in detail about their portfolio. So this is the portfolio report. Their health score is very bad. Why? The returns might be good, but other things, discipline, asset allocation, all those things are also things that matters. So understanding all these criteria, it will be able to give the health score, the journey of the investment, and all those things. A lot of things which you generally don't talk about, like we only talk about alpha, but missing out on the information ratio, tracking error, beta compliance, down capture, up capture. All these things are again with the commentary so that you can talk with the customer. You can give the details to them in making the data understandable to everybody. This is something that we have built. So in case you would like to uh, use this tool or understand more about it, anyone who are our existing users and have opted for this workshop today, we will not be charging any additional cost for these tool. We please let us know your customer support RM, and we will activate the account for you. Thank you everyone for your patience, giving us time, and being the wonderful audience.
Thank you. Thank
Once
you so
again,
much, everyone. Thank you, Rahulji, for a wonderful opportunity for me. It was indeed a pleasure. Thank you so much.
thank you, Devendraji. Thank you, everyone. We'll disconnect the call now. Happy weekends.
Thank you.